I was trying to stay really calm because it is quite embarrassing being this pathetic. Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another story time. This one is multiple story times in one, and it's basically funny stories of me being a drama queen and fainting for various reasons. I always get asked to do story times, but a lot of these stories are not enough to do one video, so I thought I'd just combine them all. So if you do enjoy my drama queen stories, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, comment below, and please tell me, just tell me you're like this, because I can't be the only one. I'm pathetic, I know. This first story happened when I was working in my visual job, which I spoke about in another story time, and I started at 7 AM. They wouldn't allow us to have aircon on until 9:30, and it was during a heat wave. Even when we weren't in a heat wave, the windows would get so hot. And once we actually did the temperature in the window, and it was hotter than the hottest country in the world at that point. The first couple of hours in work, I was literally moving mannequins like. But this particular incident actually happened at home, but there is a reason why I told you about the work situation. Me and my boyfriend at the time went to bed as usual, and I woke up in the middle of the night like, ah! I actually sounded like, do you know when foxes scream outside? That was me. And I just remember him being like, what? And I was like, my leg! But even though I was in excruciating pain, I was still kind of half asleep, and so was he. And after the pain stopped, we literally just went back to sleep. We didn't turn a light on, nothing. Wake up the next morning to get ready for work, and I go to get out of bed, literally can't walk on my leg. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I remembered the night before. One thing to know about me is I am awful when it comes to pain, and not always because of the pain, it's more the thought of it. So he got up and went to the toilet, and I was sort of half trying to get out of bed, half laying back on the bed being like, ugh. I walked out of my room like hobbling on this leg. He sat on the toilet and I'm sort of at my door. I'm like, I'm gonna faint. And he just thought, oh, she's being a drama queen. And then he said my eyes rolled in the back of my head, and I just went, poof.
Let's get bobbing.
Where I was surrounded by loads of walls, and I whacked the back of my head and my back. And obviously he's panicking because I couldn't walk on my leg. I've just fainted and he has no clue why. So then I'm just on the floor and he's like, Jess. And I wake up and I just burst out crying. Like anyone that's worked in retail, you know, you basically have to be dead to call in sick. They don't have none of it. So I'm there like, call my manager. Jess has fainted. And she's like, okay. He's like, I don't know what to do. She can't walk. So then he just calls the ambulance, because why can't I walk? The ambulance comes, I'm literally laying on my hallway floor.
Bob, okay, bring the oxygen in.
I look so pathetic. I've got a photo, I will actually put it up. And did you hear that? Did you hear my nose? It's like, And she basically said that I'd had a cramp in the night because I was so dehydrated, and obviously where they weren't putting the aircon on at work, and I believe at the time we wasn't allowed water bottles on the shop floor. And then she basically said, if you have a real bad cramp, that it can hurt so much and pull a muscle or something, and that's why I couldn't walk on my leg. Ignore the state of me, I've just edited this video and I can't not include this one. So I was in Dubai and I sliced my foot in a club, and you know what, I handled it so well until I got in the taxi for the way home and I realised I'd sliced my foot. Obviously I knew I'd cut it, but then I really realised that, oh wait, it's actually like really bleeding. Pull up to my lovely 5-star hotel and I get escorted in with a wheelchair, like by a wheelchair. The man rolls me in a wheelchair. Like, could you get any more dramatic? Walk. I could have walked. They take me up to my room and then they come and bandage me up. How embarrassing. I had to go down and take that wheelchair down, and I walked down fine. It was a tiny, I did slice it open, but it was so small. So this next one I'm actually a psychopath for doing, and I don't even know how I did it or why I thought this was a good idea. But basically I needed to go get some stitches taken out of my leg, and I was petrified of getting the stitches taken out. It made me feel funny, the idea they were going to be pulling stitches out. Is actually making me feel a bit funny now. Oh my God, imagine I actually fainted on a story time of me talking about fainting and stuff. That would actually be really funny. Instead of going to get my stitches taken out, I decided I wanted to take them out myself. How does that sound better than going to a doctor? And before I faint, I get really hot, and I thought that the best thing to do was to go sit outside in the cold, because I think it was winter at the time, and sit on this cold step that we had outside the back door and take my own stitches out. Why? And I did it. I literally sat there. I felt really hot, really queasy, and I took my own stitches out. Probably one of the dumbest things I've ever done. Would never do it again. I didn't faint. I don't know how I didn't faint, but I took my own stitches out because I'm literally that much of a wimp. Okay, so this one is my best fainting story, hands down, and it is the latest one. I was in bed and my headboard isn't like attached to my bed. So there is a gap where my pillows are. It's actually my wall behind me. I was asleep like this with my hand under my pillow, sort of right near my wall. And you know when you have that random jolt in the middle of your sleep where you'll just be like, well, I had that. So I've gone, boom, and my nail has smacked the wall. I woke up to this excruciating pain in my nail. My hand was on my head and the nail had snapped. Where it had ripped, it was caught in my hair. So me being me, I was too scared to just do this and take my hand away from my hair because I didn't know how low down the nail had split and it was making me feel sick. It was about 1 AM. I was half asleep and I was crying like My plan was I wanted to get up and go to my mirror and have a look at how I could get this off my hair. I literally just remember looking in the mirror and then boom. So then I wake up, I'm on the floor, and where I fainted, obviously my hand has just came off of my hair. I'm crying because I always cry after I faint. And then I have to try and get the nail off, the bit that's ripped, because there was no way I could sleep knowing that if I moved and pulled it, it could rip more. So I'm sat on the floor trying to bite off this nail that is ripped quite low down, trying not to faint for a second time. And you couldn't make it up. Who goes to bed, wakes up with their hand stuck in their hair because they've broke their nail in their sleep, and then goes and faints on the floor? This is another example of how pathetic I am. I went to go get a blood test, and I don't know why I think this is acceptable. Like, they must have thought, what the hell? But I was so scared, again, not of the pain, because blood tests don't hurt, but just the thought of a needle going inside me just... So I go into there and I'm like, I'm scared of needles. Sat there for a good 5 to 10 minutes like, yep, no. Yep, no. And I'm back and forth and I'm like, can I have that fan? There was a fan sitting over in the corner, and she was like, okay. So she got me the fan because I like to feel cool when I feel like I'm in a situation where I might faint. So she pulled the fan towards me and I said, can I sing? Can I sing a song to put me off to put me off what you're doing? So she's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And she's being really nice. I'm sat there, yeah, picture the scene. I'm sat there with this woman about to inject me. There's a fan there and I'm like, ra ra ooh ah ma ma la ma ma ga ga ooh la la. It helped though. If you don't like blood tests, just ask for a fan, start singing. There was another time where my little sister and my boyfriend at the time were asleep and I was just sorting out the recycling and I was breaking down a few boxes, and I got scissors and opened it. Never have done this since, by the way. Just no, get a key, it's safer. Opened it up, started scraping down the box, somehow cut myself. Anyone else, they'll just go get a tissue. It's not that bad. Me, that is the worst thing that can happen. So I'm like, oh God. But by this point, I've fainted so much that I'm kind of good at stopping myself from fainting. So this tactic was to go Snapchat my friend. Wish I had a video of this, but I don't even think I managed to press record. So I was trying to Snapchat her to take my mind off what I'd just done, and it didn't work. So I ended up going into the bedroom and waking them up and being like, help! And they were like, what's happened? And he was used to it at this point. He's like, sit down, I'm gonna go get your water, don't move, don't want you to bang your head. And I'm like, ugh. Then my little sister is half like, and I'm like, shut up, it's not funny. Just there, my little tiny wound that's probably like this big, like, trying not to faint. And I didn't faint. I was just being a drama queen, but I just think it's funny that I tried to Snapchat my friend as a distraction. Like, I'm really trying. So this next one again happened when I was doing my visual job, and I was actually working in a store where I didn't know anyone. It's literally where loads of people go to help do a store opening. All the visual girls were in this room, and I had a staple gun and I needed to put more staples in it. So I had these row of staples and it was too long to fit in the gun. And traumatised, will never do this again, I went to snap it. What happened? I snapped it and it stuck in my thumb, and I was like, oh my god, blood. So I just go, oh my god, I'm gonna faint. And everyone turns round and my thumb's dripping with blood. I was trying to stay really calm because it is quite embarrassing being this pathetic. So everyone looks over and then they're like, oh, don't worry, it's only a little cut. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna faint. So this girl takes me out of the room and I literally slid down a wall. I slid. I was like, how pathetic can you get? I didn't want to faint because I was so embarrassed, and I didn't want to faint and then wake up and cry like I usually do. She got me water, drank my water, and thankfully I didn't faint, but it was a close call. Like, my ears went, do you know when your vision goes a bit green? It was like I was getting to that point and it's like, ugh, and then I didn't faint. But even now, it makes me feel funny. Like, the idea that I just, ugh, I can't. I feel a bit lightheaded. No, I've actually got another one. So I'm on holiday and I'm terrified of being stung by wasps. Shock horror, of course I am. And I've never been stung at this point. I'm 21 years old and everyone's told me, stay calm, stay calm. And I never stayed calm and I never got stung until I'm on holiday and I stay calm. I'm at a water park and a wasp stings me in my foot. I think I stepped on it, but let's not get involved in the details, all right? No, the devil's in the detail, as they say. And it was stuck in my foot, and I'm like, oh my god! So I've got my foot up to my throat, like, take it out, take it out. And then I dive into the pool. Not dive, I jump in all limp. And I'm like, help. And my friends are holding me up. They're holding me up, and I'm like, and then I'm like, get me a Calippo, get me a Calippo. So they lay me back on the sun lounger. And I'm just laid there with my Calippo, like, children would react better than I would, honest to God. I don't stay calm anymore though, because that is a lie. Another equally as pathetic story, actually probably more pathetic. I'm folding invoices, literally folding paper. I was doing it really quick. I went like this, and then the paper sliced under my nail. A paper cut. I was like, oh my god, I feel faint. So everyone's looking like, here she goes. So I had to go outside, which was really dumb because I had to walk down quite a big stair. 2 sets of stairs. So if I just plummeted, I would have actually really bashed my head. I go outside again into the cold and I'm sat there like with my drink, and people walking past probably thinking something traumatic's happened, and I literally got a paper cut on an invoice. I was in Tenerife, and you know where you get ice creams and you pull the glass? Usually they're really stiff. So I go over to this ice cream, what are they called? And I go to pull this glass, this side, and there was another bit of glass here. And as I've really gone for it, the other one's come back and smacked me right on the nail bed. When I say this hurt, this was another level of excruciating pain. So to stop myself fainting in the middle of a Tenerife supermarket, I just ran off. So my little sister and boyfriend at the time were like, what on earth? Where has she gone? I was crying up the aisle, like, trying not to faint. And so I did this big lap of some of the aisles, and then I got back to where the ice cream bit was. They were half laughing and I was like, shut up, it's not funny. When I say I gave it my all when I pulled this ice cream thing, I gave it my all. Smacking your nail bed is an underrated pain. Is that such a thing? Oh my god, once my dad had something happen to his shoulder and dislocations as, oh no, I can't. I imagine it. And then I'm like, ugh. I imagine one day I'm going to faint off the thought of something happening that's not happened. Do you know when you lay in your bed and your legs are like that, hanging off? I imagine someone coming and stamping on it and, ugh. and then I have to move my legs. Maybe I need therapy. No idea how I'm gonna go through childbirth. But anyway, hope you liked the video, bit of a random one. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe. Oh, did you notice I've got my new top on? Love it, love it. Anyway, I'm gonna have a cereal bar now. Is this Kellogg's? No, Nestle. Bye.